Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I'll be reviewing the rewards from the 2025 First Contact Day event. As always, chapters to each topic are listed below. This event is live on all platforms until April 29th of 2025. If you miss it, there is a buyout available starting at 2500 Zen, which decreases based on your participation in the event. That buyout is only available for a limited time, so if you miss that, you'll be waiting a few years for these rewards to be added to either the Muds or Phoenix stores. Now, onto the rewards. This year it is an elite Hangar Pet and a set of Engineering Bridge Officer abilities. Both of these are based on the Federation mission scout ship that Data used in Star Trek Insurrection. I'll be taking a closer look at the model here in just a moment, but I do want to note that if you acquired this reward via the event or the event buyout, then these items are reclaimed in the Events tab of the journal, in the Reclaim Rewards area here at the bottom left. And for the Bridge Officer manuals, those will be under the Miscellaneous tab, and for the Hangar Pets, those are going to be in the Space Equipment tab, and you can claim those as many times as you need on each of your characters. And here is the visuals for the Federation mission scout ship. So this is going to be the Hangar Pet and the Bridge Officer ability. Now with Hangar Pets and stuff like that in STO, it's not going to be as detailed as a player flyable ship, just because in reality, in combat, you're not going to be getting that close to these. But for a Hangar Pet, it is a good bit of detail here. Very close to what we saw in Star Trek Insurrection. Something about the lighting just feels a bit off though, and that might just be the map that I'm in here. So you can see a good bit of detail. There's a docking port up on top, and in the movie, Picard and Worf docked with this using this under port here, and it is there. So, good bit of detail. In combat, you're not going to be seeing these things, from that close. When you're in a carrier, that they're pretty small, so it's enough detail to make them identifiable. You're in actual combat, you're not going to be this close to them. So the art team, as usual, has done a great job. Now the question is, how is the performance of these things going to be? So starting with the Hangar Pets here, these are only available in Elite quality, and the Federation mission scout ships here come equipped with 2 Omni Phaser Beams, an Omni Photon Torpedo, Tractor Beam 3, Aceton Beam 2, and they are noted as being faster than standard runabouts. For those of you that have played with carriers in the past, you likely know it's not a good sign when they're comparing them to runabouts in any way in the tooltip. And as for the special perks here, it's faster than a standard runabout. Tractor Beam 3, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to lock down a single target for a couple seconds. And then Aceton Beam rank 2. So Aceton Beam rank 2 is going to target a single foe. That is going to apply a debuff to that foe, which is reducing their outgoing energy damage to you and your teammates for 10 seconds. So that is not debuffing their resistance, rather that's reducing how much damage they can do to you and your teammates. Then there is some radiation damage that does, and it will shut their projectile weapons off for a couple seconds. So, it's there. It's debuffing their outgoing damage output, but compared to the other Hangar Pet options out there nowadays, like the Type 7, that really isn't that much value. For reference, the Elite Type 7 shuttlecraft are often considered the best in slot Hangar Pets right now for most builds, because they're bringing in a ton of debuff with Attack Pattern Beta 3, Close and Sensor Pass 3, and then the Elite version of those has Fire at Will 1 to spread that Attack Pattern Beta around. Now, the Type 7 shuttlecraft, they're not the best damaging pets in the game. In fact, they don't actually do much damage. They're popular on builds where you have a Hangar Bay slot, but you don't want to focus on buffing up your pet damage. You slot the Type 7s because the debuff they bring in is buffing up the rest of your build. So the Type 7s are not meant to do damage. And when it comes to the performance of the Federation mission scout ships, it ain't looking good. So again, the Elite Type 7 are not meant to do damage, they're meant to debuff. And when I was testing these out on stream, the Elite Type 7 were out DPSing the Federation mission scout ships. And the issue with that is, the Elite Type 7s, the primary value is not their damage. The primary value is the debuff they're bringing in. The Federation mission scout ships, they don't have that sort of utility. That's not even close. Tractor beam and Aston beam, it's nowhere. It's not comparable in any way. So the fact that these pets are doing less damage than Type 7s, and they're not bringing in anywhere near competitive utility, is really bad. Like, if you have access to the Type 7 pets, or like Rare Toadouge, any of the common, high performance pets out there, then you don't want to use these. The Elite Federation mission scout ships simply suck. I guess if you're a brand new player and you literally have nothing, they would be fine until you get something better. But as is, that is really just horrible performance there. The fact that they're doing less damage than Type 7s without bringing in, a ton of utility, that is quite rough. And next up is the new Engineering Bridge Officer ability. Rank 1 is in the Lieutenant slot, Rank 2 Lieutenant Commander, and Rank 3 Commander. The difference with each rank is how many of the mission scout ships are launched by the ability. That number is going to correspond to the rank of the ability. So rank 1 launches 1, rank 3 launches 3. These scout ships are set up different compared to the Hangar pet variants. These use an oscillating destabilization beam for 10 seconds on the foe you targeted the ability on. Per second, this beam is going to apply a -2 all damage resistance debuff to the foe for 10 seconds, along with -2% outgoing energy weapon damage. So at the max of 10 stacks, that is -20 all damage resistance debuff, and -20% outgoing energy weapon damage to the foe for 10 seconds. And then multiply that by the number of scout ships launched with the rank of the ability you used. Now, as for how this Bridge Officer ability is actually performing right now, there's unfortunately a bug with it in that it's not being affected by cooldown reductions such as Boimler, Photonic Officer, and so on. But one of the big issues is it's just so slow. Like, it takes a while for these things to start doing their thing once they spawn in. And the stacks of that debuff, they just don't last long enough. For this having a shared cooldown of 30 seconds, you're looking at 10 out of 30 seconds uptime at best on the debuff that this is going to apply. And it just doesn't last enough time. The damage of these pets that you spawn in, they're not buffed by most of your Hangar pet items. I did see that they were being buffed by the advanced engineering Hangar pet consoles when I did try it on a build with those consoles. But, as for like trying to buff them with SAD or, carrier traits like that, it doesn't work. So here's the ability again. And again, right now, while I'm recording, these are bugged, so it's not getting any cooldown reduction, which is a bit unfortunate. So it just takes too long for the debuff to be applied, for them to fly over to the target and start actually attacking once you hit the ability. And the debuff just does not last long enough. So that is really quite rough, given that this is something, that's going into a commander slot. In the engineering bridge officer abilities, you do have other debuff abilities that you can pick up, such as Let It Go from the winter event. And the thing about Let It Go is when you mark that on a target, it lasts longer than this. It goes, the max rank of Let It Go is Lieutenant Commander also, so it goes into a lower slot, but the max debuff is much, much higher. With rank 3 of this ability, at best, you're very, very briefly going to be getting -60 all damage resistance debuff on a foe for a second or two, and then it's going to start to fall off. With Let It Go, that can go up to 160 debuff on that foe. It only lasts 20 seconds, but still, that's twice as long as what this Federation mission scout ship does. So The Federation mission scout ship, once they resolve the issue with it not being affected by cooldown reduction, that'll help it out a little bit. But the issue is the debuff just isn't lasting long enough. The pets that are spawned in, they don't do enough damage. Ultimately, the ability, like the Hangar pet, is just a bit underwhelming. So to wrap things up, both the Hangar pet and the new bridge officer manuals are not really that amazing. The engineering bridge officer manuals, at least, are going to see a bit more use. That's some more engineering abilities that you can use as a filler if you're on a ship with too much engineering seating. But none of this stands out as being must-have right now. The Hangar pet, again, it just doesn't perform well. The runabouts generally have never really performed well, and this isn't really any different. It also is going to only be launching a total of 4 of these from the bay, so if you're using some of the newer carrier stuff like the Credence console, that generally performs well. If you're using Hangar pets that do 6 per bay, just so you're getting more outgoing shots to get that dilithium damage from that. So, these got multiple things working against them, and I just can't really recommend these unless you are just absolutely brand new and have nothing else to put in a Hangar base slot. For the engineering bridge officer abilities, again, once they resolve the issue with the cooldown reduction, that'll help a little bit, but I think it would be a very good move on their part to go in and extend the duration of this debuff, because it just falls off way too fast on targets. It'd be nice if they applied it a bit faster once you hit the ability. If they started to move in, start attacking a bit sooner, that would help as well. But definitely increase the duration, and I mean, honestly, even just increase the debuff a little bit. That would be good as well. But yeah, that is the breakdown and review of this event's rewards. This is the second event in a row where the rewards were not really that stellar. The Palvin event we just had, the console from that ended up being a bit of a dud as well. So, the big prize, I guess, for the first Contact Day event is really just how easy it is to farm to get the marks, the lithium from it, the 150k XP bonus pools. I guess that's the big prize here. So, like I said last week, make sure to farm that TFO as much as you can while it's up, especially on your characters that don't have any gear on them. It is such an easy TFO to farm the model rocket launch. But that is going to be it for today. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. And as always, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. I hope you enjoyed this unscripted, very late night recording. See you guys around.